Hello everyone, welcome back to the Battle War Conflict channel. Please subscribe and like my videos. Imagine this, in the dead of night, missiles streak across the sky over a city that prides itself on cutting-edge defense. Beneath bustling streets and shimmering skyscrapers, a hidden fortress lies deep underground. A command bunker once thought impenetrable has just been breached. The weaponry fired came from across the border, unleashed in retaliation and destined to change everything. The world watches as one of the most secretive shelters of the Israeli establishment falls into turmoil. This is the story of how Iran's missile strike targeted a top Israeli bunker, the implications of that strike, and what it reveals about modern warfare in the Middle East. Let's start by looking at the exterior of the bunker and its surroundings. From the surface, the site appeared like any typical urban development. High-rise residential towers, offices, parking garages, landscaped plazas, and busy thoroughfares. It blended into the cityscape of Tel Aviv or the metropolitan zone. Modern glass facades, reflective windows, trees lining sidewalks, people going about their daily lives. Above ground, you'd see reinforced buildings, signage of municipal services, security cameras, street lamps, emergency access gates, and barriers. But the key feature is that underneath this veneer, heavily fortified entrances descend into the earth. The exterior access points include blast-proof entry portals, steel-reinforced doors, ventilation exhaust shafts camouflaged as innocuous utility structures, and emergency egress points disguised amid the urban infrastructure. Approaching the area, you might notice subtle warnings, restricted access signs, ID check stations, guarded fences, possibly concrete berms and roadblocks that can be raised in case of high alert. The surrounding area likely hosts auxiliary facilities, power substations, backup diesel generators, water tanks, and communications links. Even the landscaping might include blast, mitigating berms or false roofs to absorb shock waves. In short, externally, this bunker looks like part of the city, yet its true purpose is hidden and formidable. Moving inside to the interior, this is where the fortress truly reveals its nature. Descending through heavy steel blast doors, you enter a vestibule with air, locked chambers, filtration units, and decontamination cubicles. The interior hallways are reinforced concrete, thick walls, layers of shock absorbers, seismic dampers, all designed to withstand near-by explosions or missile impact. You walk past communication hubs, fiber optic cables, satellite uplinks, hardened server rooms, secure fiber racks labeled Command and Control, Intelligence Core. There are large monitoring rooms with banks of screens showing maps, missile trajectories, radar tracks, satellite imagery, secure audio lines. Adjacent are conference rooms for high-ranking officials with secure comms equipment, encrypted video links to national command centers. The sleeping quarters and living spaces for personnel are modest yet functional. Bunk beds, personal lockers, cafeteria, medical bay, climate-controlled zones. Ventilation is central. Air filtration to handle chemical, biological, or nuclear fallout. Backup power from diesel generators. Water purification systems. Storage rooms with emergency rations, medicine, protective suits. In deeper levels, you'll find missile control bunkers, thick walled vaults with blast, locks, shock, mounted equipment, secure compartments for weapons deployment oversight. The corridors have emergency lighting, signage guiding to escape routes, and inner safe rooms. The architecture is brutalist and functional. Raw concrete, steel beams, minimal aesthetics, everything designed for survival, resilience, and operational continuity, even under severe attack. According to recent reports, a ballistic missile fired by Iran struck a reinforced Israeli shelter wall and killed several people, exposing major vulnerabilities in the shelter infrastructure. That raises questions about how the interior space held up, whether all compartments were reinforced as thought, and the readiness of the staff inside. In this bunker's case, the deeper levels may have been shielded, but sub-levels closer to the surface appear to have been breached or damaged. The juxtaposition of the nominal safe zone and the actual damage incurred underscores just how high the stakes are when missiles break through. Now let's talk about performance. meaning how the bunker functioned under attack and how well it served its intended role. Performance in such a facility is measured by the speed and reliability of alert systems, ability of occupants to reach safety, structural integrity during blast, communications resilience, backup systems functionality, and rapid transition to war footing. In the recent incident, the exterior reports show that Iranian missiles penetrated Israel's air defense net, and one missile struck a building shell, possibly a shelter, causing fatalities. The bunker's performance thus comes under scrutiny. Whether the sensors provided sufficient warning, whether the staff inside could initiate lockdown before the strike, whether critical systems remained operational after the impact, how well the command and control functions were preserved, and whether the internal redundant systems kicked in. If the bunker truly functioned at its design standard, one would expect minimal communication loss, negligible structural compromise, rapid shift to backup power, and continuous control over military assets. But the damage reported suggests gaps. For example, the missile breach indicates that the blast absorbing structure may have been insufficient for that particular war, head or strike vector. The performance under real combat conditions appears to have revealed an Achilles heel. On the flip side, the fact that the bunkered command center reportedly remained operational in some capacity suggests the design did deliver some of its intended mission, namely, to maintain continuity of national command even in a missile attack. Reports indicate that the bunker, known as Site 81, beneath the Da Vinci Towers in Tel Aviv, was targeted and that a missile landed in the complex, so performance was tested in the hardest way possible, and the result shows both strengths and critical vulnerabilities. Next up, safety features. A sophisticated bunker has many layers of safety: structural fortification, blast shielding, redundancy, environmental isolation, life support systems, fire suppression, chemical/biological filters, secure communications, escape routes. In this bunker's case, we assume the walls are extremely thick, reinforced with steel and layers of laminated concrete. Floors may be mounted on shock, absorbing springs or isolators to reduce blast wave transfer. The air system includes NBC nuclear/biological/chemical filters, positive pressure to prevent contamination ingress, emergency air supplies, water and food storage for several weeks, power backup via massive diesel generators, and possibly battery banks. Fire suppression with inert gas or foam systems to protect electronics. Critical safe rooms configured to protect command staff, communications, intelligence assets, weapon control nodes. The facility likely uses different zoning: red, mission, critical, yellow, support, green. Living, each with graduated protection. The exterior also includes berms, blast walls, explosive, fragmentation protection, and redundant access points that can be sealed or defended. The safety feature that stands out is the ability to remain operational under attack. But as we learned, there were still casualties inside or near the shelter, indicating that the safety net was imperfect. According to sources, a ballistic missile fired from Iran struck the wall of a central Israeli building and breached a reinforced shelter, killing 4. That makes clear the importance of constant review of safety systems in high-risk zones. Then we come to unique selling points. What makes this bunker exceptional, unique, noteworthy in the narrative of war and defense? First, the clandestine location under prime real estate in a major city. The concept of embedding a top-level command bunker in the heart of Tel Aviv makes the facility both secretive and strategic. Second, the depth and interconnection of its systems: communications, intelligence, missile control, strategic command, all integrated for continuity of operations even under a direct strike. Third, the dual-purpose nature, to serve not just as a shelter for wartime command, but as civilian defense infrastructure, providing protection for thousands of residents, potentially doubling as a mass shelter. Fourth, the modern design that attempts to incorporate cutting-edge blast mitigation, state-of-the-art sensors, and hardened infrastructure to survive ballistic missile strikes. Fifth, Its symbolic value, the idea that a national leader's hideout or survival center has been found and targeted, shakes public confidence and illustrates vulnerability, which is in itself a dramatic point. In this incident, when Benjamin Netanyahu's presumed hiding spot or command center is allegedly discovered and destroyed, it adds a psychological edge to the military facts. The fact that this underground facility was reportedly hit by a missile from Iran or its proxies raises the game in the region and suggests that even the best bunkers are not invincible. We move on to price. In a military, industrial context, price isn't just dollars, but cost in terms of national security, public confidence, lives, and infrastructure. Building such a bunker costs hundreds of millions of dollars / equivalent investment. Excavation, reinforced construction, blast, proofing, electronics, communications, backup power, life, support, logistics. Then there's the cost of maintenance, staffing, readiness drills, upgrades. But beyond that tangible cost, the price paid when the bunker is compromised is even greater. Loss of strategic operational advantage, morale impact, casualties, repair and rebuild costs, and the signal it sends to adversaries. In the real story, the missile barrage from Iran targeted Israeli sites across the country. At least 21 people were wounded in a wave of missiles fired by Iran, according to Israeli emergency services. The price of that missile strike includes death, destruction, displacement, and a stark demonstration of vulnerability. So when you factor in building a bunker and believing you're safe, only to have it hit or compromised, the price becomes existential. The purchase for national security becomes incredibly expensive when the threat evolves. Finally, the conclusion: what we see here is a stark lesson in modern warfare. Bunkers that were once thought impregnable are now under threat from missiles, drones, advanced munitions, and surprise strikes. The story of this Israeli bunker, or alleged hideout, being found and bombarded by Iranian missiles, is a wake-up call. It shows that strategic defense must go beyond walls and steel. It must include active intelligence, early warning, flexible architecture, rapid adaptability, and above all recognition that no fortress is ever invincible. For viewers of our channel, the takeaway is clear. In the theater of war, perception is as important as fortification. A bunker is only as good as the systems within it, the people operating it, and the readiness of its inhabitants when the lights go off and the alarms go out. The fact that the bunker was discovered means an adversary achieved intelligence breach. The fact that it was bombarded means the adversary had capability. The fact that damage occurred means the defense was incomplete. For Israel, this breach will prompt review, upgrade, damage repair, and rethinking of urban defense doctrines. For the rest of the world, the message is that subterranean hideouts, once the ultimate refuge, now might offer only a measure of safety, not total protection. Thank you for watching this analysis on battle war conflict. If you found this insightful, please subscribe, like, comment, and share your thoughts. Could any bunker ever be fully safe? What does this mean for nations investing in underground defense? See you in the next video.